And just like that, it is Mercury retrograde in Pisces. How you doing, Capricorn? Thank you so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. Came back to do a reading for you. We're going to do a weekly reading, and we're going to do a 9-card draw this time. Let's find out what is going on for you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. If you can just remember, this is a general reading, and it's not just for Capricorn Sun. It's for all those other ones I mentioned as well. So sometimes I'll be talking about other energies in this read as well. I'll try and explain it the best that I can. At the end of this read, I'm going to tell you about how to find the extended, also about a sale that I have on for pre-recorded readings right now, and that it goes on to May the 4th. Oh, sorry, March the 4th. Let's find out what's going on for you first. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Cappies. What is going on with my Earth cousins here? We've got the 9 of Cups in the reverse. Okay. We've got the 7 of Wands. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles. You know what? It feels almost like you're seeing something clearer. The 9 of Pentacles in the reverse for me is like a disillusionment. I thought that was going to be different. I thought it was going to end up being different than this. And so I think it's almost as though you were protecting something, like you wanted to see something a certain way, and you weren't willing to see it for what it really was. I'm just looking at the 7 of Wands here. You can see this person has got their back to the 3 of Wands, which is over here, and that they're attending to the 4 of Wands. I feel like you wanted something to be as you saw it, as you perceived it, I'm going to say as you imagined it, or as you kind of had this fantasy idea of what it was. And I feel like, because I'm looking at Piscean energy here, and what just happened is Neptune and Saturn just moved out of Pisces, which left Pisces energies to make us very clear about the next steps. So I feel like you had your back to the 3 Wands, which is the future, and you were tending to the 4 Wands, which is maybe in your current energy. You were stoking the home fires and really keeping yourself maybe behind some boundaries. It feels here like there is something that becomes really clear to you, and is that you've been ignoring the future. And I feel like what's in the future is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles being abundance, but also time, effort, energy, money, jobs, all that kind of stuff. It almost feels like you were stuck in this disillusionment that I don't have to pay attention to the future. It's just going to happen. And I feel like what you don't realize is that you have to be really practical with how you place your energy and what you're going to do for the future. You've got to really plan it, right? Because that's Earth energy, and Earth energies are planners. So just like you, right? So you're the CEO. So I think that you decided that you were going to open a door to a new chapter, or put more effort, time, and energy or money into something, or invest your time differently. Maybe you're going to invest your time in the future a little bit more, rather than in this disillusionment of, yeah, it'll work itself out. We have the 8 of Cups. Yeah, there you are, right? It is this, all of a sudden you move into this energy of detachment. You know what? I just need to detach from my focus being on my home or keeping the home fires burning. And it's almost like you were trying to perfect what it was already perfect. And you're like, this is really easy. It's much easier than going out with the new pentacle and making a new life, or having a place that I start brand new. It's easier to work on what is already perfect than it is to start something new. So I feel like you cut away from this disillusionment here. It feels like there is a healing possibly that goes on for you. You know, it could be because you weren't feeling well, or you didn't feel like you had enough energy or effort. It felt like a fight. It felt like you were fighting for it, and I feel like you were owed that. I'm just going to say honestly, Capricorn. I think that you finally just said, you know what? I deserve a moment to sit down. I'm always planning. I'm always on it. I'm always like planning something, taking care of someone, got my hand in all the pies. And I feel like this energy of you just wanted to take a rest, to take a beat from arguing and fighting with always having to open up the new cycle and put more effort and energy, build it from the bottom up. It feels like you've decided to turn your back on leaving something as it was. I feel like when Neptune and Saturn moved out of Pisces, things became much clearer. So you stopped ignoring things, no more disillusionment. It was like now it all became clear that maybe I've been trying to perfect what was already perfected when I should be starting a new chapter here. Because, we can all get in our comfort zone, right? We can all get in that place, but I feel like it's now time to stand up for yourself and take a new path here. We've got the Two of Wands. And so I feel like it was just too hard to make a decision. I feel like you're the planner, right? And to me, the Two of Wands is always making a plan. It's like we plan everything so we can make the decision, but then sometimes we never make the decision. Because it's like, we start to go over things with a fine-tooth comb. Well, is it enough? Am I enough? Do I have enough? And we start to second guess ourselves. For somebody here, it feels like you've been healing emotionally. I feel like you've been keeping your walls up or maybe staying away from people, not really connecting with people as much as usual. It feels like that somebody here has been keeping their healing under wraps. Maybe you're just not telling people. I feel like you were hesitating opening up a new chapter in your life or stepping forward into the future. I feel like you had your back toward the Three of Wands here, which is the future expansion and adventure and growth and moving forward. I think that you had your back to that because I think you were tired. Look at this here, the Five of Wands and the Ten of Swords. I feel like you were fighting some sort of feeling betrayed of an ending or a painful ending had come, the end of maybe something that was very deeply emotional for you. Capricorn, you're not really good with showing your feelings sometimes, right? Even my Cappy friends, my sister Cappy friends, you are really good with keeping it all together, right? Keeping it all together, and you don't really tell people necessarily about your feelings or what you're going through. And that's very much a King of Cups energy. And it's not like you don't have the ability to do it. You do, but you just rather not bother people with your issues. I feel like you've gone through something really tough. And I think it was like a street fight. I always see the Five of Wands as like a street fight, but it might have been an inner battle. I feel like it was an inner battle because the King of Cups is here. I feel like you needed to wait until you could heal and before you could put this plan into action. I think that the Two of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles are connected because I feel like you were planning something and then it's almost like you stop. You stop because you're reminded of how painful the path can become. Even though you're very optimistic, because it's very optimistic energy with the Pentacles, right? Abundance and reassessment and the planning phases. But I feel like when it comes to executing the plan, that you're like, oh yeah, I remember last time I got really hurt emotionally over this. I feel like you have come to some healing. And it's only because I feel that you have finally detached from the outcome of something. So I feel like you are going to invest in something new. Could be a new friendship, a new job, could be a new house or a new home or something, a new project of some sort. But it feels like it comes on the heels of arguing with yourself about it because you know that a battle can ensue at any time internally, and you could get hurt emotionally by anything external to you. Now I'm talking about relationships and people who let you down, and you're the planner. You're the one who never lets anybody down. You check in with all your friends and all that kind of stuff. It feels like you are not telling people that things are tough for you, but you're taking care of everybody else, and that's very Capricorn of you. Two cards I'm going to put down for what's going on under the surface that you don't see. You're going to come to some sort of breakthrough here, friend. It feels like you're going to have the realization that it is time for you to begin something new. I think that you've been at home taking care of a lot of people or taking care of the home front or whatever it is, because this person here is tending to the fire at the Four of Wands, which is the home, and you've been ignoring change or whatever is coming in the future. It feels like it's time for you to stand up for yourself here. We've got the Knight of Cups, and I feel like somebody has really maybe been a homemaker or taking care of the family, taking care of the children. But I do feel like it's like your heart is now stirring, is what it feels like. You don't see is coming under the surface here. What is brewing is emotions. It's like, I just need to attach to someone emotionally. I don't want to keep it buried anymore. I always had the plan to get together with somebody. It could be romantic for some of you. It doesn't have to be. It can be platonic as well. But I feel like ultimately what you're scared of is that you're going to get betrayed or hurt, again, emotionally. Let's take a look and clarify some of this here. Let's find out what's going on. Tell me about this Seven of Wands, because the Seven of Wands is safety, right? It is putting up the boundaries and making sure that you keep people at the property line and not letting everyone into the yard. And I think it's because you just weren't ready to face the Ace of Pentacles. Because Ace of Pentacles is a lot of work, right? It's a lot of hard work because Pentacles are in the 3D. Things move slowly. It takes a lot of planning. Tell me about this Seven of Wands here. The Ace of Cups shows up. Tell me why. We've got the Hanged Man. I think you put love on hold for something. Oh, the Wheel of Fortune is here. I like that. I feel like with the Seven of Wands here that you were not facing the future, that you were staying at home, keeping the home fires burning. And it feels like it was because of something here that you were waiting to heal with the Four of Swords. I feel like your life was in pause. I feel like you were about to come out of the pause because the Wheel of Fortune says so. It feels like you were in perspective, like you were introspective, I'm going to say, trying to look at love or look at the Ace of Cups, the happiness of the heart space, looking at it from a different point of view, because when you're wounded, deeply wounded emotionally, it changes your perspective on love, platonic love, romantic love, love of a friend, of a family. It changes you. I feel like you were trying to get a different perspective on why should I even bother loving? That's what it feels like. The Wheel of Fortune is here. Your perspective has changed with the with the Hanged Man here. You're getting a change in perspective, which is in turn changing how you look at things optimistically. Your destiny is here. And so I feel like you're soon, if you've been feeling out of sorts, feeling like you have no energy, feeling like you're healing from something. And sometimes those things will show up as body symptoms when they're really not body symptoms. Sometimes they're symptoms of the mind because the mind controls everything, right? So it feels like somebody has been healing, and I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is showing up to say, and now it's time to change your perspective on what the Ace of Cups is to you. It's time for you to stop putting your back toward the future, and it's time for you to invest in something, someone, a situation, maybe something financial, maybe getting a new job, whatever that Ace of Pentacles is. It is going to benefit you, but it's going to be a lot of hard work because things in the Pentacle world are hard work. But I mean, you've never shied away from hard work. We've got the Eight of Cups here. There's something here that I feel that you detached from, that you walked away from. You decided that I'm feeling far too emotional about something here, and it's time for me to detach from it. I feel like what you were detaching from is the Nine of Cups in the reverse. I feel like this is like walking away from this sort of this energy. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of itself. I feel like you left something on the back burner and it didn't take care of itself. And I feel like you detached from it. You made a plan for it, but I don't think that you executed the plan. I feel like this Eight of Cups tells me you just didn't settle for it, is what it is. You couldn't settle for 8 cups. You needed all 10. And while you were listening to the universe here for the Hanged Man, for the different perspective, while you were waiting for the different perspective on love, I feel like you got into this real detached energy here. Oh, that's the Empress energy. Very interesting. So we got the Moon energy and we've got the Knight of Pentacles. So I do feel here that you were probably in this energy of, you know what? I can't see everything. I don't have clarity yet. I can't see it. I don't have clarity on it. And if I don't have clarity on it, I'm just not going to bother putting my energy there. It feels like you left it there. You detached from it, which is interesting because when the Empress shows up, it's because, the Empress has all of the wisdom of all of the queens. And this particular Empress, of course, is the Queen of Swords, right? So I feel like the detachment comes from your Queen of Swords energy. I feel like you detached from the Moon energy because the Moon energy is things that are not really seen. Things that I'm not sure of. It's a bit of illusion. And I feel like rather than feeling around in the dark forever, I think that you decided, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to detach from it and walk away from it. The Knight of Pentacles being here tells me you did that for a while, probably a year. Pentacles are years for me, and the Knight is carrying 1. It feels like you you decided to turn your back on maybe a Pisces, maybe a Cancer, maybe a Libra or a Taurus. It feels like that you got into your sovereign energy, which means, you know what, I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm just going to keep the home fires burning. I'm just going to focus on myself. I'm going to detach from this thing that I can't see anyway. It's an illusion, or it's too dark. It's too deeply emotional. I'm not facing it right now. I don't think you could face it until you could get out of this energy of fighting yourself. That's what it feels like. Let's talk about what's hiding under the surface, because I think you were deeply wounded by somebody here through betrayal or something like that. Tell me about this King of Cups. We've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Wands in the reverse. And we've got the King of Swords. I feel like the thing that hurt you, it does feel like it was probably a relationship. Now, whether that's a romantic or platonic relationship, it could be a work relationship. It feels like whatever it was a battle. It's like I think that you did whatever you could to keep everything balanced. Like the fours are about clarity, but they're also about stability. I think you did whatever you could keep. You did whatever you could to keep something balanced. And what I mean that I think you took it upon yourself. Like, I'm the one in charge of this. I've got to make sure that I keep my energy balanced, my emotions balanced. It feels like somebody hurt you though. Like somebody really cut you. The King of Swords is here. They may have cut you with their words. Somebody said something or did something to you that I feel like you're not happy about. But I don't think you said anything because the Knight of Wands is in the reverse. And the Page of Pentacles is here. I feel like there is somebody here who hurt you deeply and emotionally here. They cut you emotionally, but I feel like you didn't say anything. Because look, when you hurt Capricorn and you hurt them that deeply, they're just going to go silent. They're just going to pull away and going to go silent. I feel like with the Page of Pentacles here, that you're like, if that person comes to me and wants to talk, then maybe we'll talk then. But until then, I feel like I'm just going to go underground here. I'm just going to take care of myself. And the Knight of Wands being in the reverse, stop. I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop saying things. I'm going to stop giving any truth, any conversation. It feels like you pull back your energy a bit here and saying no, because when you hurt me that bad, I just go silent. We're going to go into the extended. We're going to talk more about this because it feels like you have a plan about what to do about somebody who really wounded you through an argument or a fight. It feels like you start focusing on yourself, but with the Wheel of Fortune here, something here is changing in a very fortunate way. And I think it's your money, your job. It feels like, it's almost like you were forced into pulling back your energy because somebody really betrayed you or hurt you emotionally. And I think that it ends up benefiting you, honestly, because I feel like by pushing you into focusing on yourself, I feel like you end up being the Empress. You jump into this very stable Empress energy where you really don't now need anyone. So I feel like it gave you independence. We're going to talk more about this as we go into the extended. If you want to be there, then please look at the top of the comments. There is one pinned comment, and if you click on read more, you will see that there's a link there to the membership area. That's where I'm putting all the extended. So you'll get 4 in a month, more if you're watching more signs, but I'm also doing readings just for the extendeds, readings just for the members as well in that area. If you're interested in a private reading, there is a sale on. I don't often have a sale on my pre-recorded readings, and so I do that every few months, and right now there's 10% off my pre-recorded readings. I have many on the platform. Please click the link to Hypsee to take a look at my pricing and my packages. You'll get 10% off on checkout, and there's a code in the comment there for you to take with you to get your 10% off. And if you're interested in connecting with me live, you can do that simply by booking pre-booking a recording with me, and we'll talk on the phone. So if you want to do that, we can do that. And it's anywhere between 5 and 75% off. Bottom of the deck, look, happiness is coming here. I think that's your breakthrough. I think happiness is coming. Happiness in love. It could be romantic love for some of you. It could be platonic love, or it's finally arriving because this is passive energy. It feels like you're feeling brave enough to be optimistic and happy about the future. So we'll talk more about that as we go into the extended. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back, Caps. Take care. See you then. Bye-bye.